In today's fast-paced reality, one of the most important skills is the ability to learn something new quickly and apply it immediately. Unlike in the past, when reality changed only minimally for generations, today we experience a world where conditions are changing every day. It used to be that what you learned at the beginning of your life was enough to last until the end of your life. Learning one craft or hunting method meant that you could use that skill for a lifetime and not have to learn anything else. Reality was stable and predictable. But today's world makes very different demands on each of us. Entire industries disappear literally overnight, while new opportunities arise at the same pace. Companies that were at the cutting edge yesterday are closing today, and new companies are emerging with entirely new ways of working. It's no longer enough to rely on what we once learned. Today's challenges force us to constantly adapt, find new ways, and learn skills that fit the current conditions. School should therefore not just teach facts, but equip us with the ability to learn new things quickly and effectively so that we can put them to use immediately. That is what this segment is about. Developing the ability to learn quickly and flexibly in order to cope with a reality that never stops changing and requires constant growth and adaptation. In the beginning, I thought this segment would be mostly about different techniques to learn something quickly. For example, how to activate visual memory, how to use auditory memory, or how to learn faster and more efficiently in general. But as I look at the issue of learning through the lens of entry-point philosophy, I found that the issue of learning is much more complex. One of the fundamental characteristics of entry-point philosophy is that it's universal. What it says to people today, it would have said equally to people 100, 500, or even 200,000 years ago. Thus, the segment of perception of reality is the same not only for all people at different times in history, but for all living creatures on this planet. It will be true in the future. So if we want to perceive learning correctly, this approach must be universal for modern men as it was for our ancestor who lived hundreds of thousands of years ago. So let us imagine learning through the eyes of prehistoric mammoth hunter. The hunter not only had to have the ability to hunt effectively, but also had to be healthy and prepared for the physical demands. This covers the health perception segment. From childhood, he had to learn to survive in the wild, which included the selection and knowledge of prey. He had to know what kind of animal he wanted to hunt, whether it would be big, small, fast, slow, dangerous, or an animal with good defense. So in the first phase, he had to figure out what prey to choose. Once he decided, he began to learn how to hunt it. From the time he was born, he was able to observe other members of his tribe and learn what animal to hunt and how to hunt it. This process was not a matter of a day. The learning took months, years. After the first day of learning, he was definitely not ready for a successful hunt. But after 3 or 4 months, he had a decent level of technique, and even though he may have lacked physical maturity, he was able to be useful. After years of practice, this hunter was more proficient, not because he had necessarily become physically stronger, but because he had perfected his technique. If he started hunting at 15, then at 25 he was a much better hunter because of practice. He may have already mastered his technique to 95% or 100%, but even at 15, with a skill level of say 60%, he was able to participate in the hunt and survive. We can look at learning in the 21st century in the same universal and practical way. This optic shows us that the learning is not just about the quick acquisition of knowledge or skills, but a complex process of selection, depth, and practice that allows us to adopt and be successful. Now let's look at the mammoth hunting analogy and bring it to the 21st century within Entrypoint Academy. Just as segments 1 and 2 are closely related, segments 3, 4, and 5 are interrelated. The third segment focuses on how to learn something quickly, and the fourth on how to make money, which we can think of as a modern-day way of mammoth hunting. The fifth segment then focuses on how to perceive and manage money. In this analogy, money represents our mammoth. Money enables us to cover the cost of living, housing, food, energy, and can also become a means of investment and entertainment. The fourth segment is therefore about how we can hunt this mammoth. Most of us start out as employees or temps, getting paid an hourly rate for our work. As our skills grow, we move into, for example, entrepreneurship, where we can work as a sole proprietor or start our own business. Segment 4 therefore teaches us how to apply these skills that will bring us money, our mammoth skill set. And now that we know what the mammoth represents and what we need to hunt, the question comes to what we need to learn to get there. In this segment, we will look at the skills that are the key in the different stages of mammoth hunting. It's not just about knowing what to learn, it's also important how to learn it. We need to identify relevant information and think about what level of knowledge is needed to achieve competence in a given area that others will be willing to pay for. Now that we have an idea of the skills we need, the next step comes setting up a plan. How do we incorporate learning into our daily lives? How do we find time within our workload to learn new skills? What is the most effective approach for developing these skills? We'll address all these questions in the next long section of the video. But before we get into specific examples and approaches, I want to reiterate one key idea. Before you get into how to learn something quickly, ask yourself what you want to learn and why it's important. In fact, it can be much more beneficial to learn something slowly but focus on what's more important than to learn something super fast that won't bring you any real benefit in life. So let's move on to the next section in this section, I would like to show you specific examples of how I think you can most effectively master new skills. Since I have been sharing my views online, I have continually stressed that the reality around us is changing at a never-increasing rate. That's why I believe that the most important skill we should all learn and which schools should develop as a top priority is the ability to learn new things quickly. This skill is fundamental to being able to make money. That is, to use our analogy to be able to hunt a mammoth. From a mammoth hunter perspective, the key is to learn new hunting techniques as quickly as possible so that we can not only hunt the mammoth, but also respond to a situation where a new species emerges. For example, new challenges and opportunities in the real world. But something fundamental has happened in the last 2 years that has transformed our reality and learning opportunities. I'd like to share this change with you as a first step, because it not only accelerates the learning process, but also allows us to learn new skills in a whole new way. This new innovation is artificial intelligence, specifically in my case, ChatGPT. Artificial intelligence really helps me hunt more mammoths. This tool allows me to learn new techniques, skills, and information faster and more efficiently than ever before. It has given me access to a vast amount of knowledge and has made learning so much easier. ChatGPT in its current form is helping me not only to hunt the mammoth, but also to learn new ways to hunt, that is, to master new skills. In this section, I'll show you exactly how I use ChatGPT, how I've learned to use it, and how you too can use this tool to learn what you need faster in today's age of the internet, technology, and artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, especially ChatGPT, is an absolutely fantastic tool for learning new things. However, in order to use it really effectively, we need to learn how to use it properly first. The best way to achieve this is to gradually apply it in your daily work. By taking this approach, we can see results right away, which motivates us to keep going and keep improving. So the first step to making the most of AI is to incorporate it in our professional lives. The moment AI starts to make our work tasks faster and more efficient, we will become motivated to learn more about it and use it as a direct tool to learn new skills. There's a plethora of different courses and tutorials on the internet. However, AI as your personal mentor and teacher is absolutely unique in this respect, as it can create a tailor-made learning plan for you. To give you an example, let's say you want to learn Python because you found out that the average salary for a junior Python programmer is around $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month. So I've instructed the AI to prepare a 30-day plan, at the end of which I will have enough knowledge to apply for a junior Python developer position. I added that I had 2 hours each day to study and a basic understanding of Java programming. The result was a nicely organized list of topics for each day. Each topic built on the previous one, allowing me to build my skills gradually and logically. In addition to the topics themselves, I asked the AI to prepare exercises and final tests for each day so that I could verify that I had indeed mastered the material. After 30 days, I reached the level required for a junior Python position. Of course, this example is not a specific plan that you should all follow exactly. Rather, it shows you how to use AI to develop a personalized study plan. You can even have the AI create a plan for 5 minutes a day, where it prepares a short list of basic concepts or vocabulary that you can go over each day. For example, when you look at your phone. Another advantage is that AI can help you assess your current knowledge. We often have a distorted idea of what skills we have. We either overestimate or underestimate ourselves. For example, if you want to find out how well you know Microsoft Word or Excel at a managerial level, you can have AI create a test with the key skills you should be mastering. It can also prepare a self-assessment test for business English or other skills, so you have a clear picture of where you stand. The possibilities of using AI as a teacher and mentor are really huge today. If you are lost in this or need advice, feel free to contact me. In the next section, we will focus on how to prepare our brains to learn quickly and optimize our senses to make the learning process as efficient as possible. One of the main senses through which we take information is sight, specifically reading written text. One of the basic skills we should all learn is to read optimally and quickly. The average reader reads about 240 words per minute, which is equivalent to the speed of spoken speech. However, speed readers can manage 600 words per minute and more. I myself, with a simple aid, have increased my reading speed from 250 to 900 words per minute while maintaining the same reading comprehension. The speed reading technique consists of visual reading without internal rereading of the words. This is because most people say the text in their minds, which slows reading down to the level of spoken speech. To get the hang of this, you can repeat in simple rhythm words such as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 as you read in your mind. This will stop your brain focusing on the inner voice and focus purely on the visual perception of the text. It may feel unusual at first, but after a few days practice, you will find that you can focus on the words themselves and read much faster. This method is useful not only when reading articles on the internet, but also when processing longer text that you might have summarized by AI. Furthermore, visual perception can also be used when watching videos or articles, when text can be processed visually and perceived more efficiently. Other techniques for optimizing the senses and memory. In addition to visual reading, there are many other methods to improve perception and working with information. Let's go through some. So when watching YouTube tutorial videos, I recommend increasing the playing speed. With faster playback, you can still perceive the main ideas while getting twice the amount of information in the same amount of time. Second, methods to improve visual memory. If you need to remember certain images or key information, imagine your eyes scanning them and mark them virtually in your mind, but visually with a red line or circle. This method will strengthen your memory as your brain starts to pay more attention to the details. Third, associated mental mapping. An interesting technique is to associate information with a particular mental map. For example, imagine the face of a clock. Each number can represent a specific idea or topic you want to remember. For example, when you are watching a debate or reading a text, you can mentally attach each argument to the numbers on the clock face and easily recall it later. This is also known as the memory castle, or activating memory with rhythm. The 1, 2, 3 technique is also great for taking in information from other sources, such as watching the news. Rhythmic repetition in your mind focuses attention and strengthens memory, making the information more deeply embedded in your memory. Learning foreign languages through repetition. In addition to traditional methods, it's still important to master a foreign language. Even though AI can translate in real time, direct communication in foreign language is still very valuable. I myself learned basic Chinese in 3 months by listening to an MP3 program with 90 lessons of 30 minutes each day while jogging. During those 30 minutes, I was repeating phrases in the language at regular intervals. Somehow this helped me automatically to memorize them quickly, and eventually I was able to communicate in Chinese in everyday situations. There are a plethora of discussion forums and articles on the internet where people share their learning experiences. For example, how I learned to play guitar or how I learned to play chess. These shared experiences can be a great source of inspiration for your own learning and practical use of artificial intelligence. If you need advice on other methods and ways to use AI to educate and optimize learning, I have a range of recommendations. Whether it's setting up a plan, different techniques, or tips for effective learning in your work or business, feel free to contact me. I'd be happy to help you develop a tailored solution. Nowadays, there are skills that everyone should master in order to function effectively in the modern world. The list is not ranked in order of importance, but includes key skills that will enable you to be flexible, informed, and prepared to handle everyday situations. Number 1. Technological basics. Mobile devices with internet connectivity. Everyone should have a mobile phone with constant internet connectivity that allows you to stay connected and respond in real time. Text translation. Be able to translate text in foreign language using a translator. Although AI translation is becoming more and more accessible, a basic knowledge of English for the non-English speaking people like myself, it's almost a must because with English you can speak anywhere in the world. Communicating across platforms. WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and other platforms for quick communication are key, as is knowing how to use email effectively. Digital skills. Everyone should have access to email and be able to respond quickly to important messages. Google Maps and navigation, ability to enter an address and find directions from anywhere. Online banking, using banking apps, accessing your account and paying by mobile is a staple these days. Third, practical skills. Driving and first aid. The ability to drive is not only practical but can be crucial in emergency situations. Everyone should know this basic first aid. Basic understanding of geopolitics. It's useful to understand the structure of the pillars of state and your government to know what a superpower is and what the main geopolitical relationships are. Fourth, basic knowledge of science. Physics and space. Understand the difference between general and special relativity. Have a basic understanding of quantum mechanics. Know what an atom is and what a molecule is. Biology, basic biology such as the difference between a cell and a bacterium. Understand the major classes of nutrients, proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Please don't take these as dogma, but take them as inspiration for reflection and as a stimulus for further learning. If you want advice on specific areas to develop or how to improve in those areas, feel free to contact me. I'd be happy to help you develop a learning plan or advice on particular applications of AI in your work or business. Today, we live in a very different reality to the one in which humanity has lived for thousands of years. While for generations, the way we survive remained virtually unchanged, the modern world is changing faster than ever before. It used to be common. A person learned one profession or skill and was fine with it for a lifetime. Today, it's common for people to change jobs or even entire industries several times in a lifetime. New technologies and trends come at a rapid pace, so the most important skill today is to be able to learn something new quickly so that you can respond effectively to change and monetize your skills. The fast learning is essential because the day may come when we suddenly find that our current field or profession has been completely overtaken by new technologies or new approaches. The worst time to learn is when the situation is already acute, so it is essential to start learning new things now before you need it. Fortunately, there is artificial intelligence which can help us with tailored education even in our busy lives. Many people say they don't have time to learn, but that's not often not true. With micro-learning, short daily lessons that can be tailored by AI, you can make the most of even small spare moments during the day, such as when you're driving to work or waiting somewhere. Artificial intelligence allows us to create tailored learning plans according to our time and needs. You should start building your skills for the future today. If you want to advance in your career or secure yourself for the future, AI can provide you with a self-assessment that shows you exactly what skills you have at a professional level and where you still need to improve. Start using AI in your work environment. Describe exactly what you need and get advice on how it can help you improve your productivity and the quality of your output. This will allow you to better prepare for potential changes in your industry, increase your value in the job market, and easily achieve financial stability. Think about how much you need to earn each month to cover your living expenses and have some money in reserve. Look at job offers and see what skills and positions could provide you with this income. With AI, you can create a personalized plan that will guide you towards achieving these qualifications, and even if you don't plan to change jobs right away, attending job openings can serve as a valuable way to see if you have the skills at the level you need. To make learning as effective as possible, work on training your brain too. Learn techniques such as speed reading or methods for better visual memory, such as the 1-2-3-1-2-3 method, to engage the analytical part of the brain, freeing up space for creative perception and memorization. Seek out new methods and strategies for effective learning. The internet and communities around AI can provide you with a wealth of inspiration. Finally, it's important to remember that we live in a time when it's no longer true that one learned skill is enough to last a lifetime. New technologies are emerging all the time, changing the job market and the nature of professions. That is why continuous training and the ability to learn quickly are now essential skills that enable us to stay on top and adapt rapidly to changing conditions. As I've pointed out several times, the How to Perceive Learning segment is closely related to segments 4 and 5, which deal with making money and perceiving money. I recommend looking at these segments as well, as they will provide additional insights into why and how to learn in today's 21st century world. In the 4th segment, How to Perceive Making Money, we will look at different ways of making money. The most common ways is employment, so we will focus on how to be a good employee who earns decent money. Another way is freelancing, where we look at how to succeed in it and be competitive. And the third common option is to start your own business. The 4th segment will help you better understand what to learn and how to prepare for different career paths. Next, in the 5th segment, we will look at how to perceive money, which is primarily used to cover our basic needs and also to be able to save and avoid debt. You will learn how to manage your money so that you can live comfortably and be able to save at least 20% of your income. I'd be happy for you to contact me directly if you need help or have your own methods to learn quickly. I look forward to seeing you in the next segment, How to Perceive Making Money.